Hi girls, Sally here from Brightalicious. During weeks 5 to 8, you'll focus up on finding your flow. During this phase of the program, you'll be equipped with food fundamentals so you can actually choose to eat in whatever way feels right for you. Drawing upon the insights from your detox and through the optimal diet, you should have more of an idea now of what your body actually likes and what it needs. Embracing that principle of begin as you wish to continue, the focus will be on practicing new healthy habits that will help you to actually find your flow and ultimately to sustain it. In this video, I'm going to share with you the lowdown on macronutrients. In order to actually make healthy choices, it helps to know your macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. In this week's video, we'll focus up on the first two, so proteins and fats. And after that, we'll demystify carbohydrates and demystify carbophobia if you have that. So getting smart about your nutrition will help you differentiate the science behind the dietary hype and also make educated, healthy lifestyle choices. To dramatically reduce any macronutrient in an attempt for weight loss is simply short-sighted and will likely cause your efforts to be short-lived as well. Because ultimately your body needs all the essential building blocks of nutrition, so proteins, carbohydrates, good fats, plus vitamins and minerals to remain healthy. So firstly, let's look at the power of protein. Protein's main role is to build and repair cells, which is a pretty important role when we're actually made up of cells. Protein packs a punch when training because it actually speeds up the recovery of lean muscle tissue. Plus it's also fantastic for keeping hunger cravings at bay. Two things actually help us to feel full. Number one is the contents of stuff in our stomach, which physically stretches your stomach, and the main contributors to that are both fibre and water. Fibre slows down that process of digestion, therefore keeping food in your stomach for longer and helping you feel fuller for longer. So, as a side note, consume foods both high in water and fibre content. The second thing that helps you feel full is protein, which chemically sends a signal from your stomach to your brain to say, I'm full, which is always a bonus when you're trying to control your portions. So eating more protein will actually help you avoid energy slumps throughout the day where you'd otherwise need that instant fix from sugar because it actually releases energy slowly. So aim to eat protein following exercise for muscle recovery, but remember protein doesn't actually build muscle, exercise builds muscle. It simply enhances the recovery process so that you can work harder at your next workout and therefore build more muscle and tone that way. Also eat protein in the morning for breakfast, morning tea and lunch, as this will aid in hunger control later in the day so you're not eating off your arm in the afternoon. So note that excessive intake of animal protein actually causes acidity in the blood as it's metabolized. The body doesn't like to be in too much of an acidic state and can cause inflammation, which actually makes it more difficult to lose weight. So to neutralize the acid, the body actually steals calcium from the bones, therefore weakening them and contributing to higher rates of osteoporosis. So, as a side note, don't overdo it with your animal proteins. As mentioned, look at your meat as a condiment rather than the actual main event. Rich protein sources are tofu, nuts, seeds, legumes, eggs, fish, red meat, chicken, turkey, eggs. I already said eggs, protein bars and shakes, cottage cheese and yogurt. How much protein do you need? It's recommended you eat about 0.75 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. So if you're about 60 to 80 kilo female, we're talking around 50 grams of protein as your target. So that's about 100 grams of tofu, which you might actually be surprised to hear has 25% more protein than beef. So chances are if you're not starving, then you've probably got enough protein. Plus, remember that if not used, excessive protein calories, like excessive carbs or fats, actually are stored. Or as researcher Mangles Messina states, throughout the world, protein deficiency is nearly always a result of inadequate calorie intake, not consumption of poor quality protein. So moving on to fat. A lot of people have a fear of fat, but in my opinion, it's largely unnecessary. Yes, fats are the most energy dense of all the macronutrients, with 1 gram of fat actually equating to 9 calories, closely followed by alcohol, which has 7 calories per gram, and tied third is proteins and carbohydrates, which are about 4 calories per gram. But it's important to note that our bodies actually need fat, and fat actually contributes to both our satiety or hunger signal in a really big way. So when you eat full fat foods, opposed to the low fat, often faked processed alternatives, where they often substitute fat for sugar and other fillers that aren't always detected by our body's hunger regulators, you're left feeling more hungry. And then when you're more hungry, you're more likely to eat more. So to reflect back on the ideal of eating whole foods, my encouragement is to eat real and full fat foods rather than low fat foods. I know, bit of a challenge that one for some people. Fat is needed to regulate cardiovascular health, reproductive health, skin, hair, and cell maintenance. Whilst it's widely accepted that some fats are bad for you and while others are beneficial, recent evidence showcased in the Heart of the Matter series on Catalyst revealed that even the demonized bad fats, such as trans fats and saturated fats, don't actually cause cardiovascular disease or early death due to their impact on cholesterol levels. Cholesterol levels are actually 90% genetically predetermined and only 10% influenced by lifestyle, which is news to some people. Saturated fats, however, are calorie dense and are mostly derived from animal fats such as butter, cheese, whole milk and meat, hence why they're in the kind of eat less category of the optimal diet. Traditional good fats are those that can improve your blood cholesterol levels and are cardioprotective, so your polyunsaturated and your monounsaturated fats. Monounsaturated fats are derived mainly from olive, peanut and canola oils, as well as from avocados, whilst polyunsaturated fats, unsaturated fats, are found in corn, soybean, soy flour seeds, as well as fish. Omega-3 is a fat that must be acquired from food and is abundantly found in fish and flax seeds or linseeds. And adding omega-3 to your diet alone will actually aid in appetite and weight control, so studies say. So how much fat do you need? Fat intake should equal about 30% of your total calories, which equals approximately 1 gram of fat per kilogram of body weight. So to give you an idea, an avocado has about 30 grams of fat, 100 grams salmon has about 15 grams of fat, and an egg has about 5 grams of fat, just to give you an idea. So your transformation task this week is to learn to read your nutritional information panel on your items in the supermarket. So when looking at the 100 gram column, shoot for consumables with less than 10 grams of fat per serve, and where possible, more than 10 grams of fat to aid in hunger control. So in my next Eat video, I'll demystify carbohydrates and hopefully cure you of carbophobia.